and welcome to today's video. My name is Marcel. I'm today with Josa, and we're from the company Med School Experts. In today's video, we will discuss the opportunity to study medicine at the University of Mostar, the Faculty of Medicine in Bosnia, and we will talk everything you should know about this specific opportunity to study medicine in Europe, whether it is because you just dream to work as a doctor in, let's say, Germany or France, or whether you're just looking for very good education in Europe. I think that university is worth looking at. I'm going to talk more about the specific and unique things about this university later in this video, but one thing I would straight out like to share is that this university is also very interesting for folks who want to work as a doctor in the United States, and I'm going to jump back to that point later down in the video interview that we're going to do today. For those who don't know Med School Experts, we're helping people to study medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, or other medical-related fields such as nursing or veterinary medicine in Europe without perfect grades, independent from your high school results. We have over 20 partner universities across Europe, and we always find the right match for you. We are based in Switzerland, however, we also have an office in Bosnia, and Neda Josa is working in that office, so she's going to give you some insights from a Bosnian perspective in this video as well. And if you're interested to find out which European university is the right match for you, just click on our homepage, link is below the video, and you'll have a free meeting with one person in our team to discuss your opportunities. We're going to see what conditions you have, what citizenship, what school grades, what high school level you have, and depending on those prerequisites, we're gonna discuss with you your best shot and your best option.
And after you discussed it with your family and you made the decision to start at a specific university, we will help you all the way through the application. We're gonna place you in the respective university, and what is more, we're gonna help you with exotic internships all across the world in the medical sector or volunteering programs, and prepare you on your career pathway to Germany or Switzerland optionally as well. As I'm from Germany and I live in Switzerland, we have straight access to those very popular places to work as doctors or dentists or other healthcare professionals such as nurses. So Nida, I'll give you the word now to guide a little bit and give this video a little bit structure. As you're yourself from Bosnia, I'm sure you have planned some nice presentation.
Okay, thank you, Marcel. And hello to everybody who is watching this video or listening to this podcast. So, as Marcel already said, I'm a Bosnian citizen, even though I'm Serbian Orthodox. So, I will try to briefly introduce the country to all of you who haven't heard of Bosnia, but you actually maybe heard, but you don't know what's actually going on. How is this? How is that? So, I will try to go across some basic informations, and then I will focus more directly to Mostar and then later on University of Mostar. So when it comes to Bosnia, we can see it on the presentation. We can see where Mostar is located. So Bosnia as a country has this little triangular shape. It has three entities, Republika Srpska, Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Brčko district. As you can see, Mostar is in Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Most of the citizens there are either Catholic Croatian or Bosniak Muslims. And there are a lot of stories how Mostar is divided, etc. But still, just because there are two different ethnicities living there, it doesn't mean that there is zero tolerance. Of course, those people live in peace. Maybe like Republika Srpska is more Serbian Orthodox, but you can still find Croats and Bosniaks living there and so on. So we might seem divided, but there is a tolerance, we respect each other, and we live in peace, thankfully. And also, interesting thing about Mostar, you can see the location on the map. It's almost, well, it's near the Adriatic Sea. So sometimes if you have free time, you can rent a car and then just go to the seaside. It takes, I think, around less than 2 hours to go to the actual beach. And also we have like a little small town called Neum, which actually has a beach and is in Bosnia. So Mostar, the name of the town actually means bridge keepers. And whenever you Google Mostar, this is the photo that pops up. This is the old bridge and the old bridge area. So the name Mostar actually means bridge keepers because most in our language is bridge. So it kind of makes sense. we can see that during the evening, Mostar looks very beautiful. This river here, it's called River Neretva, and it's freezingly cold. In Mostar, every year we have events where people are actually jumping from the bridge to the river. And when you're visiting Mostar, you can actually pay to jump from the bridge. Maybe it sounds insane, but there are people who like to try that. Here we can see overall city view. Mostar is one of the largest cities in Bosnia. I think Mostar has around 100 something citizens, so it's pretty large. Here we have Kravica waterfall. Most of the cities in Bosnia are surrounded by nature, and Mostar is definitely one of them. And it's definitely worth taking a look during the summer because there's a lot of beautiful places to visit. Here we have the spring of the Buna River, also a beautiful place to visit in summer or in spring. And there are many bars and restaurants in Mostar, so you definitely have some places to go out, to socialize, to wind out after the exams or after the lectures. And of course, many students, when they come to Foča, for example, they always ask me, where can we buy clothing? Is there any shopping mall? So Mostar actually has a very good and very large shopping mall called Mepas. And I think you can buy there like everything that you could buy in Germany or in Austria or wherever else in Europe. Maybe it could be difficult for those students who have a bit higher sense of fashion. So you might be in trouble. But when it comes to buying basic stuff like jackets, jeans, etc., you can definitely find it here without any problems. And now we will focus on the topic of the Faculty of Medicine and the university's clinical center. I will ask Marcel some of the most common questions that students ask, and we will try to introduce you to the university itself and the clinical center. So, Marcel, can you tell us something more about the Faculty of Medicine? Which programs does the university offer? And what is it so special about the University of Mostar?
Yes, with pleasure. So, University of Mostar is called Mostar School of Medicine, and I would say that what it makes it special is that it's a private university, um, and it is yeah, consists of very small groups. So it's like only 30 students per group. When you compare it to other partner universities across Europe, you quickly see that it's extremely small because, let's say, Sofia, Bulgaria, where I studied, it's 500 students in medicine. Or let's take the East Sarajevo University in Bosnia, it's 150 students per semester, right? So it's much smaller, and you have a extremely high ratio of docents and professors, teachers and professors compared to students. Like the ratio is extremely high. It's extremely individual, the teaching. And this enables not only the university study program to be part of the education, but also the preparation for example, the USMLE or other entry tests to countries such as the UK. So you can choose which country you want to go to and prepare for the respective entry tests. So many students from that university choose to go to the United States, so they study for the USMLE together with their professors. That is very unique. You have like study groups in basically all of the universities that we offer, but you won't have like specific preparation, individual preparation for what comes after your graduation, right? But that's pretty essential. So that is a big advantage that you have here, very individual, student-focused education. And of course, you pay a little bit more. You pay currently 9,000 euros, so 4,500 euros per semester in tuition fee. When you take into account that at the East Sarajevo University, where you study, Yosa, the tuition fee for international students is only 1,750 euro. That seems high. However, I have to say, compared to other European universities, this is still relatively affordable. When we look to, for example, Slovakia, you have 13,000 euros, Poland 14,000, Czech Republic 15,000 or 14,000, and Hungary, you're at 18,000, Cyprus 20,000 euro per year. So you see 9,000 per year is still relatively affordable for a medical program. But of course, there is cheaper options such as the East Sarajevo University. However, the East Sarajevo University has also some specific requirements that you might not meet, and that makes the Mostar School of Medicine some of your cheapest options that exist. It is always important to get a individual consultation with me or our team in general to really see which is the best fit for you. But every year I have students from Germany and other countries where we decide that this is the right shot. Something special is also that we can place you without entrance test. However, most of the universities that we offer that have an entrance test, the entrance test is just a formality. However, it is still nice to know that there's nothing that you need to do during the application process and the work is entirely done by my team. You just hand in your documents to us, your high school diploma, via PDF file, and a couple of days later, it's usually between 5 and 10 days, we already have your admission letter taken that you fulfill the prerequisites, the requirements, and also taking into account that there are still places available because, as I mentioned, there's only 30 places per year. So far about the university itself, it's a private university, as I mentioned. It runs on the Croatian curriculum. So the curriculum they use is from Croatia, and that has some historical background, but that is very suitable because it's a European Union curriculum, as Croatia is part of the European Union. And that makes the recognition process much more easy when it comes to working after that in Germany or in France or in some other European Union or European Economic Area country like Switzerland, for example.
Okay, thank you, Marcel, and thanks for mentioning the Croatian curriculum and mentioning that Croatia is actually a part of the EU. I think this is a very relieving information for many students who plan on working in the EU later on. So, university's clinical center, have you visited it?
No, I haven't visited personally, but I have someone on my team who went personally to university, and we've placed medicine students in several years at the university already. Our students are very happy with the program. Uh, it's worth noting that there's already couple months, a couple weeks into the program already the first exam, so they're not the end of the semester, so they're relatively spread across the semester, and that means that when you start, you should really be ready. It's really worth noting that you come some weeks before the semester start. Um, However, the first 2 years they will be outside of the clinic mostly, and then after the second year you will be at the clinic and you will be engaged in a relatively modern clinic that offers everything that you should actually know. Is there the same technical high-tech medicine that you would have in countries like Germany or Switzerland? No, but still they have relatively advanced tools and um, IT systems and medical technology, and everything that you actually need as a medical student, you'll find it there.
Okay, thank you, Marcel. There is a dental program as well. Is there anything specific to mention related to dental program and also the dental clinic? Do you have
Yes, so
any information regarding that?
the dental faculty is only for the Serbian students, Bosnian students, sorry, and it doesn't exist for the English students yet. This might change in the future, but currently there's just the international offer for medical students.
Okay, that's good to know. What else should we talk about?
Well, I think that it's worth noting that you compare this university to other Bosnian universities, and aside from the higher price and the let's say more student-focused approach with better quality to like better ratio of students to professors. I think that it's important to note that just the city is extremely beautiful. Maybe the most beautiful like Eastern European city that exists, at least some of the most beautiful cities. It's really like tourists go there
Yes, I
from all
agree.
over the world. However, the airport connectivity is less good than, for example, the East Sarajevo University. So there is some potential negative that you should take into account if you plan to really fly a lot to your home country. I mean, if you come from a different continent, that's not going to move the needle. But if you come from a European country already and you plan to fly sometimes over a longer weekend, also home, then just keep into account that you're going to travel much more compared to the East Sarajevo University, for example.
Thank you, Marcel. I agree that Mostar is one of the most beautiful cities in Bosnia. There's a lot of medieval architecture, which is also linked to the Ottoman Empire, especially the old bridge. And the old bridge was ruined in the war during the 90s, and it was rebuilt in 2003 or 4 with the same technique. So that's like a fun fact. And if somebody is listening to this and if you're interested in history, you should definitely check out the history of Bosnia during the medieval time and during the Ottoman Empire. I think it would be much more interesting than just looking at the picture. I think Mostar actually has some historical value. And also, Mostar, what is specific about Mostar is the climate. Climate is actually Mediterranean because it's close to the Adriatic Sea. So there are vineyards, olive trees, and so on. And the summers can be really hot. So that's one of the fun facts. But when you look at Mostar geographically, like you wouldn't maybe think of that at the first look, but then when you actually do your research, and that's when you realize that there's actually in the summer, it's almost like a Mediterranean town. That's the overall vibe of the town.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to living costs, you should take into account that this is a little bit more expensive when it comes to like apartments. So my students, for example, they pay quite a lot, like 350 to 450 euro just for the rent, which is for Bosnia relatively expensive. Um, However, the other living costs, they are just as low as in other like cities in Mostar. It's just that it's a tourist city, therefore the rents are higher, right? Because there's a lot of hostels, apartments, and accommodation for people who stay short term or long term as guests there. So consider the Mostar School of Medicine to be relatively high-end private university for people who have a higher budget and want to study in a truly beautiful Balkan city with a recognized degree across Europe. There's the possibility to learn German also with our help. We offer pathway programs. If you become our client, we will help you with internships along your studies and even help you and assist you with our program to work in Germany after your graduation and later eventually make the move to Switzerland. Just as I did it as well. I'm a German student that studied in, I was a German student that studied in Bulgaria because I couldn't get into dental school myself in Germany. I opened a big YouTube channel and a company around it, helped over 400 students to also study medicine in Europe from Germany. And now we've expanded with some English-speaking agencies like studyinbosnia.com or education in Serbia.com or now med school experts, where we help international students as well to study medicine or dentistry in Europe. So I'm someone that has gone the entire pathway from leaving the known home country to go somewhere else to study. And I know at which point you are. And when you're thinking about like coming to Europe and studying medicine here, this is definitely an interesting uni admission without entrance exam, very good like level of education. So if you haven't been a very good student at this university, you might get a bit more further through the help of like your university stuff, right? They're gonna support you just a little more than in other universities, and you're gonna pay a little bit extra for that. But I think that's all you should know when it comes to studying there. That's the most important and condensed information. And for more info, just book a free consultation call with me or with some of my colleagues. We're going to discuss everything, your different options. As mentioned, we have over 20 different partner universities, and we're even expanding that list. We work also for internships in different countries to arrange volunteering programs and internships in the medical sector during your studies. And we work with employers in Germany to ensure that you get a job also after graduation. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.